Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis for oil, natural gas. We'll dive in and look at some companies. I'll give you my opinions on them. These are some of my favorite companies, so that's why I'm always continually looking at them. And you guys can follow along, obviously, and I'll give you my financial opinion on it. Please don't use it as advice. But let's dive in here. I'll give you my opinion on oil, natural gas, and some of the companies and what I'm seeing in the charts. So here we go. So looking at West Texas oil here, I'm gonna first back out real quick. This is the big picture outlook. This is what I'm excited for. We've got a kind of a descending wedge pattern here. We've been moving on sideways. We broke to the upside and we kind of came back in. I'm going to zoom in on the right-hand side here. We were coming in to do a back test here. We keep zooming on in. And we were coming and back testing. We were coming up to move. This was the 50 million barrel oil release. That's this day here. So that when they were speculating on a release, they came out with 50 million barrels. It popped higher, and then they released the Omicron information or data. Omicron data on a very low volume day, and it blew out to the downside, and we've been going down lower here. Go to 1 month. This is on 30 minutes. We sold off. We broke through the downtrend line on a 30-minute candlestick, and then we're coming back and doing a retest. Hopefully this holds here. Here's a 5-day. That's what it looks like on the 5-day. You've got the downtrend line. It came up, came back to do a retest. Let's see if we can get some buyers to move this thing up. That's all I can say is hopefully we can get some buyers here and turn this around here. Here's natural gas, zooming into natural gas. So looking at this thing from a very big picture view, we have this massive pattern that we broke to the upside. We're doing a retest on it. Zooming into a 1 year, this is the retest that we're looking on the right-hand side. You can see it coming back. The retest would be complete at 410. Doesn't mean it necessarily has to complete it, but that's where that support is. It's 410. Zooming in on the right-hand side of this. Descending wedge. Let's go to a 5-day. We have a descending wedge. We broke to the upside, and then more fear. Oh, no. Coming on down. But we don't really have a trend line developed here. We can kind of throw this through it. We've got that. We could maybe even do something in here. But that's kind of what we look at. It broke to the upside, kind of broke back down, and hopefully we can find some support to move back up. Here's a 1-day. Let's see if the 1-day shows anything. The 1-day here, I mean, if you were to look, let me see here. I mean, I see something like this breaking, coming through here. We broke to the downside, and then we're gathering ourselves again here. We're gathering up our steam. So we're going to SM Energy. So here's SM Energy. I'm just going to zoom out to 1 year. The 1 year, we're up on this right-hand corner here. We came into a descending wedge, testing the back line. We were ready to break right there. I'm going to zoom way in on it. We were ready to break here, guys. We were ready to go, and then news came out. Bam! Hit it on its head. Getting some news, get some fear, jumble this all around. And we broke to the downside of this guy just recently and ended pretty weak today. So I'll draw on the trend line here. This is what I'm seeing, kind of this trend line. I'm going to say somewhere in this range here. And then you could even draw something. I'm just going to kind of draw it this way. And we're peeking our head out to the bottom here. Come on, take it. There you go. We're coming out to the bottom here. I'm going to go to a 1-day. You can see it kind of blowing out to the downside. So we got to muster something up and put this in reverse mode and get it back above here if we want to move higher. CDEV, and again, most of these are going to be pretty similar. We're breaking to the downside. They finished pretty strong to the downside at the end of the day. 3 month, I was hoping that this would hold. I tried catching the falling knife here. Not that I necessarily failed, but I did add a little bit in at like 602 or something like that. We came back lower, so now you guys can buy it cheaper than me. We are breaking to the downside here. We'll see what happens. I'd like to see this buy get bought back up. and above this support line. Sometimes they like to dip down here. They catch a bunch of sellers here, and then they reverse and move on up. Here's the 5-day, kind of what it looks like. That's a support line. It's holding, it's holding, it's not holding. No, it's going to come back. Come on. So that's CDEV right there. CPE, again, you can see in the CPE, we kind of broke through this guy here, and that's what I'm seeing. And then if we kind of drew one, this way, it was kind of consolidating a little bit, and then boom, we're coming down a little bit lower, and it's selling off a little bit. So we might need a little bit more patience. Here's a bigger term view, the 1 day selling off down here. We could come back a little ways, guys. We do have some support in here at 41.85, some support through here. Looking at recaf, I think the chart looks really good. You get these big buying pressure days. 1, 2, 3, came up, boom, 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 and then we're just slowly off of sellers. And then that's usually when you see this return of the buyers come in and really push it higher. Looks like we have a nice good wick at the bottom at the end of the day here. And you can see the buyer there, sell off. We're just moving sideways. It's like the volume of the buyers and sellers is just leaking out. And then eventually, if some news or something hits, it's going to be like, boom, big old move. Hopefully that's the case, and hopefully it's positive. Here's Northern Oil and Gas. Northern Oil and Gas in a big old sell-off today. I don't like seeing these sell-offs, guys. Hurts me just like everyone else, even though I'm kind of immune to it. Now, we could pull back all the way to even like $13, or maybe we find support here, looking across, somewhere in this range in here, of basically just below where it's at. Zooming in on it, you can see that big sell-off today. Doesn't look pretty. Basically breaking through that kind of support area through here. So we kind of came in here and then broke to the downside here. And all of these are, and this would even be a slight bullish formation. This wasn't even a bearish formation. Anything slanting downwards, more of a bullish formation than anything. But you know what? It's sold off. So I'd be waiting, looking for a bottom. Here's Contango Oil and Gas here. I'm gonna take this out of the mix and then use this one here. I am extending this out. You can see we came above it. We're still above it, but man, we want to almost break back down for the very short term. That's what it looks like in the longer term. And backing out, is this a shoulder, head, shoulder with the neckline in here? Maybe. CPG, looking at CPG sell-off, bearish engulfing today. These bearish engulfings are signaling more downside potential. And that's what this movement looks like. I don't really see any patterns all through here. Grand Tierra Energy, it could test all the way back at 60 cents here. That's what it looks like backing out. It's an upper channel that we could maybe come back and retest down here. Tellurian's looking like it's got more selling pressure. This could get uncorked to the downside if the fear gets maximized, guys. So we're still in a downtrend. It's still selling off. Be ready for more sell-off pressure with this big bearish engulfing. CRK, selling pressure. Maybe we're going to come back and hit this guy down here at 684. So we're hitting selling pressure. I kind of drew this pattern in here. It's not a very strong pattern. But yeah, we're hitting more sellers. Same with Sandridge, more selling. We got a little bit of support kind of down here. Some support through here at 878. It's a little bit stronger support. But I mean, this could blow all the way down to 650 or so, or even in this $5 range. I mean, this could get cut in half pretty quick. We've got big selling pressure through here on the weekly candlesticks. So depends what this week, how it ends out, but it doesn't look too hot. Tetra Technology, same thing. We got some support below it at 207. Zooming in, you can see this downtrend. It's just blowing out to the downside still. Has not found support yet. Transocean, selling off a little bit. It is, zoom in on this thing. Have a little pattern coming through here, broke to the upside, kind of came back. Hopefully, can find some support right where it's at. Stop going down. Here's Helix Energy Solutions. Looking at this guy. Zoom out. We're in the downtrend of a bigger downtrend. Let's zoom in on this guy there. Going to the 1 month, we can draw another kind of trend line through here. It's like this trend line just keeps getting steeper and steeper. Maybe we could throw a trend line in here. 1 second, guys. Kind of through this way there. And it's almost like a channel that's developing as it comes down. But I don't see a bottom yet, so I wouldn't be doing much of anything. And for oil, oil's, I'm a huge bull, guys. Short-term wise, it looks pretty weak. I don't see a bottom yet. Oil looks okay itself. If we can get some buyers to come in and push it higher, then the buyers are there. But right now, in the companies themselves, they are looking pretty weak. And I probably wouldn't go chasing waterfalls. I learned that from TLC. So don't go chasing waterfalls. I did put a little bit of money in 2 of them. You saw what happened to me if you're chasing waterfalls. Usually I don't do that, but I didn't put much money, and that was pretty small amounts, specifically compared to how much is in there. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit on my hands. I'm gonna get some more money, keep working, making more income, and when this thing starts to bottom, I'll let everyone know. So that's the reason you should subscribe to the channel. I'll let you know when this stuff bottoms. I'll let you know when I'm going in and what I'm doing. But it still looks weak. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like the content. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.